Okay, I'm here today with Mr. Philip Paramore, the Executive Secretary of the Alabama FFA, and I'd like for him to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about his position and maybe his background in the FFA. Mr. Paramore?
Well, as was said, Philip Paramore. I became the Executive Secretary in Alabama effective August 1st of 2011. I'm from Notasaga, a little town about 15 miles west of Auburn. That's where I went to school. I had two ag teachers, Steenward Simmons, and then in the 8th and 9th grade, and then my dad, Randall Paramore, became my ag teacher in 10th grade. I served as state secretary in 1979 and 80. Went to school at Auburn. Got my degree in ag journalism, worked 2.5 years in that field and starved to death, and came back and finished 2 quarters at Auburn, got my teaching certification, and then I taught for approximately 18 years before I joined the state staff in January of 2006.
Very good. So you were a very active FFA member in high school, right?
Well, I tried. We, back then, for probably 3 or 4 years, or maybe in my whole high school career, we had 8 districts in the state, and I know 2 years in a row, maybe 3 years in a row, we had by-district contests instead of district contests. And we placed, 2 years in a row, we placed 3rd in livestock, which I thought was neat, because it was twice as many teams at the contest than it normally was.
A lot more competition.
We need to turn the radio off.
We might need to.
No, it's up there at the top. Up there at the top.
I can get this volume button here and I won't have to learn anything about it.
Oh, okay. We still being recorded there,
that
Mr.
part
Silver?
out.
Absolutely.
Good deal, good deal.
That's good. So what would you say that you enjoyed the most about being an FFA member?
The most I probably enjoyed was the socialization of other FFA members. Coming from a small school, when I got out, and of course back then we didn't have district officers, we didn't have a lot of the district activities like they do now, and everything was just more or less local or county, and then we went directly to district contests. But as having no district officers, you just interviewed for a state office, and going to the state convention, which, a little side note, I remember going to state convention with my dad as a youngster in Garrett Coliseum, and getting to do things of that nature. But getting back to the question, I guess, again, it was socialization and meeting other kids from around the state at the state convention, getting to compare notes, if you will, and activities and things of that I was able to take back to my local chapter.
Great. And so as a high school student, you know, the FFA was obviously contributing to your development of leadership skills, but did you realize that at the time as a high school student?
No. Public speaking, internet, and really more or less just getting past the county, getting to go to district 1 year was an experience. Learning parliamentary procedure, or basic parliamentary procedure skills in the classroom was something good. I mean, it wasn't anything that you could be a national parliamentarian about, but got enough basics that was able to get me by.
You get through the church business meeting, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Call point of order on a time or two.
Well, as an adult, I mean, obviously you're still heavily involved in agricultural education and in the FFA, but as an adult and in your role here, can you still see how the skills maybe that you're using today started in the 8th grade or in 9th grade or whenever you started in the FFA, and maybe how is it still paying off for you?
Well, that's a good question. I guess maybe some of the socialization skills that were developed, because I know when I was a state officer we had the NLCSO, and that's when we were taught things about etiquette. We were taught things, the right way to meet and greet people and things of that nature. And my job today, I have interaction with FFA members, but yet I still have a lot of interaction with adults. And it has helped me, I think, in communication and the written part, And at the time, I did not know that I would take some of those benefits with me. I think it's difficult for students to see that education is a continuing process, and that something they may learn in the 8th and 9th grade, they may not need it again until 10 years later, but coming back, because I know I used to teach my 9th grade classes, girls and boys, how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was important they know something like that.
Boys are going to need to tie a tie, and girls are going to be mamas, right?
Well, yeah, and then they're going to have sorry husbands or have no husband at all, and their son is going to need to wear a tie to an occasion. And I used to tell the boys that they needed to know how to tie a tie so they could wear a tie to their mama's funeral.
That's right. Very good. Well, I think that you're in your profession are a lot like me. I don't know if it wasn't for the FFA, I mean, we certainly wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation, and I don't have any idea what I would be doing. And so maybe the same for you.
Yes, I knew when I was in school at the time I didn't want to teach, but I wanted to do something in agriculture. And really, when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, in some regards, I don't think a lot of people know, or I didn't, exactly what I wanted to do in my life. But I knew I didn't want to have to pick oranges and grapefruit for the rest of my life. And I did that for a quarter, but FFA is the greatest student organization in the world as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of people think that maybe it has used its usefulness because I got a little saying up there on one of my boards that a 50% increase in food production will be needed by the year 2030. And I used to tell my classes, and I still tell people on the state staff, and when I go out and about, when they have something negative to say about ag education or FFA, that they all have a vested interest in agriculture because they all like to eat.
Every day.
And I tell some of them, I said, you can look at you and tell you like to eat. So,
yeah, let's keep the camera from about here up. If you're giving some advice, this is kind of out of the ordinary here for the question, but if you're giving some advice, we have some people in the class that are experienced teachers, and we have some people in the class that are brand new teachers and brand new FFA advisors, and if you're talking to those guys that are brand new, fresh on the job, you got a little nugget of advice you could give them out of your experience in leading a successful FFA chapter?
Well, you got to have activities going all the time. You got to have something going all the time. Have food at your chapter meetings, and then have outside activities. We used to have, when I taught at Kinston, a peanut bowl. We'd have a hamburger cookout. We'd have a fish fry in the spring. We wouldn't have a banquet, but we'd have us a hamburger and hot dog cookout. They'd show up by the pickup truckload to participate in that. But you got to have activities going all the time. And another thing, you need to let your officers and do the planning. A lot of things you as an advisor will have to do because they cannot do, but you let them take some of that responsibility off. And as a beginning teacher, there's no way, in my opinion, that you can do all the FFA contests, but you need to pick you out 3 or 4 that you have interest in and go with that.
Very good. All right, thank you, Mr. Paramore.
Thank you.